HR Famous is brought to you by HRU Tech, a contingent staffing firm specializing in engineering, IT, and technically related placements across multiple industries. If you're looking for technical talent or searching for a career, look no further than HRU Tech. Find them online at hrutech.com and call them today. HR Famous is also brought to you by Kinetics, the leading RPO recruiting firm for growth companies, named by HRO Today as the top midsize RPO provider. Kinetics uses its unique skill-based recruiter model to deliver on RPO engagements, allowing them to customize scope to meet your unique hiring needs. If you have recruiting challenges and want to consider RPO as a solution, give Kinetics a call. Find them online at kineticshr.com.
What's up, everyone? HR Famous. Did you miss my voice? I know Tim said that I was on furlough, but, they told me to go quarantine myself, and then all of a sudden I was replaced, but I'm back. I'm back, everyone. It's Jessica Lee here, and I'm here with my friend, Tim Sackett. What's going on, Tim?
I know. Hey, what's going on? I sent you a picture of you and I, from years ago the other day. This weekend?
We are so cute.
I think we look the same.
Totally.
If we would have had KD, he would have looked way younger. And so because of his age, we furloughed him. Can you do that legally? Can you furlough somebody because of their age? We did that to KD.
I do read the HR Capitalist, and I swear to God, Kris has been writing lately about the over 50 crowd. And so I have learned some things. Untapped, really valuable population. So, protected under certain laws, all that stuff.
I always tell people there's more than two, but there's two big people that we hate to hire across all of the world, and no one wants to admit it, but it's old people and fat people. And I can say that now because I'm in the over 50 sec, so I can go, oh, I'm protected class. But what we do, we love to hire pretty people for sure. We just don't like old people and fat people. We don't like, and I say that people are going to be like, oh my God, that's so mean. But if you look at the numbers, that's just reality.
Real talk though, anytime I'm looking at employer brand materials, learning materials, anything, that is my thing. I'm always harping on about size diversity and age diversity. I'm like, why does everyone look so pretty, so young, so skinny? That is not reality. It's just size diversity.
Even the person in the wheelchair is the most beautiful person you've ever seen.
Of course.
You're just like, holy crap. What are they really handy capable, or are they just, putting this on for the picture? I'm not sure.
We are.
Can we say handy capable? I'm not even sure if that's the right word. I don't know.
Person with something. So, okay, what day is it? I don't even know what day it is anymore. I've been telling people, my son asks me, what day is it? Because he wants to put on the right underwear that has the day of the week. And I'm like, buddy, I don't even know what day it is. I can't help you with the underwear. This, being on lockdown is crazy.
I miss the underwear naming days where you had the Monday on the butt and all that.
Yeah. Well, they probably have adult size ones we could get you.
Well, I think I'm fine. I don't think I remember the change.
So the thing is, you know what? I've been home for I don't even know how many days. I don't know what day of the week it is, but I'm telling you, spending all this time at home, you learn things about the people in your household. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, I'm going to lose it probably soon because I'm going to tell you what I learned. I want to know what's going on in the Sackett household. My husband, BobbyJ, is on this grapefruit kick right now. He hadn't eaten grapefruit for years, and I was like, we should start eating grapefruit. It's healthy. I bought some grapefruit spoons. This is what the man does. He cuts the grapefruit up into slices, like it's orange slices. So he's got 8-10 slices of the grapefruit. And this is literally what I hear every night at 8:30.
He's sucking the grapefruit juice out?
Yes, he puts that slice down, picks up the next one.
Oh,
and it's
gosh.
10 minutes straight of is that Hannibal Lecter with fava beans? Right? I don't know what's going on. But I can't say anything God damn it, the way you're eating grapefruit is driving me insane. Even though I bought him the spoons, he feels like that is the most efficient way. And I'm like, I married a monster. Who eats grapefruit like that? And I don't know.
Does he put sugar on it at all?
He does. He puts a little bit of
Like,
brown sugar on it. Yeah.
Like I remember like growing up, my grandma she would cut the grapefruit in half and put it in a bowl for you, and then give you the spoon and sprinkle a little sugar, and that's how you ate your grapefruit, like a normal person, I
Like a
guess.
normal person.
Not like a serial killer like BobbyJ.
I'm married to a serial killer, and I didn't realize it until we were just stuck in this house together with our children.
By the way, great pro tip. I actually just got some like handcrafted grapefruit gin with a little bit of tonic and a slice of grapefruit in there. Is a great summer drink.
That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to need that at noon every day based on how things are going. What's happening in the Sackett household? Everyone is perfect there, though, right?
Well, and we have we have 3 stores. We have the basement because we're in Michigan, so everybody has a basement. And so we redid the basement years ago. My wife had like her craft room, kind of personal space down there. Plus a bunch, we have the boys had their ping pong table and TV and all that stuff. And then main floor and then upstairs is like all the bedrooms and bath. And so I get home. I already have 3 at home. So I got my wife, my oldest son, and my youngest son. My middle son's still at college. And so I get home and come to find out they all have a floor. So my wife has the upstairs. My youngest son has the middle floor. And then my older son has the bottom floor. And so I get home and I'm like relegated to like the kitchen table. Like they're like, hey, you got to stay over there in the kitchen because if we all have our space and you can't have any of it,
Oh my God.
which is why I just came to the office. I'm like, no one's at the office. I'm gonna go to the office so I can have my own space because apparently I was infringing upon their, they each need like 1,000 square feet of space,
Living the dream with 1,000 feet of square, like 1,000 square feet each. That is amazing.
They all have their own bathroom. Like,
Oh
I
my
mean, like
gosh.
it's, yeah, they were just kind of like, hey, will you please leave? The other thing, I don't know if you're like this way. We've been listening to way more music than normal. Like
No.
I kind of normal weekday stuff. Like, you got to run from work and grab the kids and the dinner and the, whatever thing they had going on. And then back to bed. And like the whole thing just, even when they're older, it's kind of like the same just thing. You get in the routine. And all of a sudden now I come home and they're all chill. Like they've been just doing whatever all day long. We start making dinner and then the music comes on and we're all kind of conversing and having this great time. We sit down together and eat. And like it's so weird. Like we've gone into this different routine that I think we'll miss once people are out like going all over the world again.
Maybe you'll continue some of it, but I like what's happening in the Sackett household. Everyone is giving each other space, which is probably what I need to figure out because if I hear that grapefruit eating noise one more day, I'm going to be on the local news for like wife lost it on her husband, just lost her SHIT because she couldn't take the sound of the way he ate grapefruit anymore, despite the fact having grapefruit spoons. It's just
By the way,
a mystery.
I also find out I don't like I love to cook. Like I grew up with all these women in my family, so I know how to cook, and I just don't get a chance to do it very often. But my wife, she wants to help me, and I am not a good I'm not a good chef where I can direct stuff. I'm like I just want to do everything myself, and she frustrates me when she's in the kitchen with me. I'm just like, get out of here, just go back to your floor and leave me to cook.
Oh, I would love that. I don't like having to be the sous chef, the line cook to help support the executive chef who has a vision. Like, I would like to just be able to go and be on my own. Well, Tim, so you guys furloughed me, not really, but it's just been crazy busy lately. And I have been just thinking about a lot, like what it is like for HR leaders right now to be in the positions that they are because companies are dealing with so many different things. Like there's the unknown of like, oh my gosh, how do we deal with this? Or, oh my goodness, we got to, have our workforce work remote. Other companies are dealing with serious things of like, oh, you're in the service industry. You can't, be providing services anymore. And what does that mean? And I just have been like, something that's been weighing on me is that like when you're in that position of being an HR leader, like it can really suck. And I think also like leaders in general, but for HR leaders in particular, like it is lonely at the top. You are carrying a lot with you. You know too much. And
Mm.
one of the things that I think that like is also important for a leader at this time is like you need to set a tone. There's a cultural implication. And I think some of that stuff is really draining. And it's just made me really think about like, what is an HR leader to do in a time like this? And I think for some more seasoned, let's say the over 50 crowd, like y'all have been through some of these kinds of crises or things before. And so I need like inspiration in my life, Tim Sackett, around like, man, like it can be lonely at the top. Like, have you like 9/11 or other recessions or other situations, like you've been through this. So talk me through it, because I just think it's like hard to cope sometimes.
I think it's hard to cope for anybody within the HR team, whether you're in benefits or comp or even TA, because I think what happens is everybody in the organization, they think you know the plan.
They think
Like
you know everything.
Yeah, like somehow you have the insight to what's really going on. And what we find out in organizations, especially the bigger the organization, is that there's levels to the plan. So yeah, you might know to like level 100, but then you find out there's a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And you're like, holy crap, I didn't realize we had plans upon plans. And that's just kind of the way that it works. I was talking to somebody that I know at a big automotive manufacturer, and he was telling me how he had the plan. I have to go and do this and lay these people off, and oh, it's so stressful. And then he called me the day of the plan, and he was part of the upper plan. So like he got laid off as well, and he had no idea. He thought he was safe because he had to go give this message. So he's like, okay, well, at least I'm not going to be impacted. And then all of a sudden he found out there was another level to the plan and probably more levels above that as well. I joke and say, oh, like, if you're an HR leader, you just better be good at drinking or working out or something, because you have to have an outlet to kind of get rid of all of that, or have like a great partner that you can talk to, or a great friend. I think it was All True Labs. I don't know if you saw All True. Ali Khan is their CEO, and just a great guy. And he said, hey, he did a shout out video to like some people that he just wanted to recognize that are kind of helping, him through this or whatever. And like, obviously Kris we furloughed Kris, but like Kris and I talk.
Oh, like, we didn't mention Kris isn't here today. We're just having too much fun without him.
I know. So but Kris and I talk like almost every day, or text back and forth, because, we're both like business owners, and there's so much going on so fast that some days I'm supporting him, some days he's supporting me, and some days we're just supporting each other, whatever it might be. But I think it's critical that you have that person or those couple of people in your life that you can go and kind of talk to. I know you and I and Kris have had some text exchanges and stuff like that, as well as we all kind of go through this nightmare of what we're trying to deal with. And I think it's critical. If you don't have that, I can't even imagine how lonely it would be on top.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, like you gave that example of your friend who was part of the second, third layer of the plan, didn't even know it, and was able to call you. And I think like one of the things I just think about with all this is you got to have someone you can talk to, because like you can't keep that all in yourself. I think you have to remember that you're human as a part of all of this. And I think sometimes folks don't want to show that like human side, but like the non-human HR person, like no one's going to believe you're real, and people want to know that you have a heart too, or that you're feeling the impact of things, but we don't ever prepare like HR people. Like I don't think I've ever been prepared like in my whole career to have someone say like, guess what, here's some of the like crap sides of being in HR that you're going to have to deal with. Like I don't think I've ever been prepared for this.
No, like when I was in retail, I had the benefit of opening locations, which were like this big celebration and everyone's happy, and like, it's crazy amount of work, but everyone's like, it's good work, right? Because you're getting this new thing off the ground. And it's pretty cool. But I also in retail, then you have the opposite side, which is you have to close locations that no longer are viable because of markets, because of whatever, right? And so it's kind of a normal thing. When I was at Applebee's, the same thing. We open restaurants, close restaurants. And what happens is once you close the first location, Every time you walk into a store after that, people look at you like you're the Grim Reaper. Like
Oh
are
gosh.
you, and like they even look like, hey, are you here to close us? And you're like, no, I'm just here to visit and try to support you and what's going on. And it didn't matter. Like they just saw you as, oh my gosh, Tim's here and somehow something bad's going to happen. And, and I would call my wife and she'd just go get a drink and, sleep it off.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you know what it reminds me of? I have a friend who is a farmer. Like she literally runs a farm. And among the things that they have on the farm are farm animals, and they have goats and sheep, and they raise them and then they sell them off to butchers. But the thing is, actually, this is the pigs in particular where this has happened. They have all noticed when she comes into where the pigs are and takes one, that pig doesn't come back. And so these pigs, when she comes into the pen, they go like they're running, they're trying to get away because they're like, uh-oh, she's here. And we know that, like, poor old Piglet didn't come back after the last time she was in here. I mean, that is a heavy thing to have to carry around, whether you're a farmer or an HR professional.
Whether you're a payroll pro or an employee wanting to understand your paycheck better, we've got you covered. Tune into It's About Payroll for expert insights on payroll trends and compliance, or check out It's About Your Paycheck, the go-to podcast for employees looking to understand their pay and rights. 2 great shows, 2 great hosts. Listen now, brought to you by Work Defined, where payroll meets clarity.
I think it works for executives too. I talk about in presentations, like I got a chance to travel with a bunch of executives in my career as an HR leader. And what I found was that like the CEO, the COO, those are really lonely positions as well, because you can't really go to the people that report to you and say, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm going to make the right. I don't know if I'm going to make the right decision here. That's not real comforting to the people underneath you. And so you have literally nobody. And what I found was the CEOs are really, kind of bad at this, where they literally have nobody to talk to. But so you as an HR leader have this ability to kind of go and say, hey, how are you doing? You want to talk? Because they look at us like we're lawyers, right? Like they have that kind of client, lawyer privilege where you can't say anything I tell you, even though that's not true with HR people, but they think it is for whatever reason. But I found a lot of like executives will open up. And then if you're an HR leader, a CHRO, or just the head of HR in your organization, I think those relationships tend to get formed during crisis that will last beyond that, for a long time.
Totally. Those relationships, I think, are something where everyone's going to look back and say, like, oh man, we went through that together. The other thing I've been thinking about, and I don't, sometimes you just get so focused on like the day-to-day and the business at hand. But like the other thing I've been thinking about is like just the interconnectedness of our businesses and different industries, and, some of the vendors I partner with, for example, and how a downturn impacts them when one industry goes down. And it's just like, I think this whole situation is highlighting for me how much we all like rely on one another. When one industry or one community goes down, like what else happens? Like, are you getting calls or talking to folks where they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not like even directly impacted, like in my state and my community, we're not a hotbed, but yet there's just a trickle down effect that everyone like has with one another.
No, I mean it's crazy. I think the global supply chain, or how global our economy has become, we don't even realize it until something like this happens. And it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out afterward, because you would think like we would even become more global. But I have a feeling that we're going to be, I think, countries are going to like, wait a minute, hey, if this happens again, we have to make sure we have some made in America ventilators, masks, whatever that might be. Like we are some strategic kind of things that fall out from this that I think actually will be good getting people back to work and actually starting up some industry and different things that we've relied on other countries. And it's not that we're not going to rely on other countries for a lot of things, but I think there's going to be some definite strategic things that take place that will say, wait a minute, what happens? And we're already seeing it where some countries that maybe deliver, masks or whatever are saying, hey, we have to make sure our own people are taken care of before we can ship this stuff out or do something like that. It's just weird from that. It's weird times. And I do think like you don't think about like, oh, the airline industry or the hotel industry or the restaurant industry. And then all of a sudden those things start to shut down. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, like I need this, or I want to go here, I want to do this, or what's going to happen. Yeah, it's definitely a once in a lifetime kind of thing that's hitting us right now. I mean, we hope, right, that it's once in a lifetime, but it's one of those things that I don't think any of us could really have prepared or foreseen like something like this is going to happen. And what's the impact going to be to our workforce, to HR, to anything like that? It's nuts.
So you have kids that are of different ages than mine. I think mine are pretty unaware of what's going on, except for they're getting tired of us being all up in their business every day, and they want to go to a
By the way, GenC is what it's being called, right? They've already named a generation because of the coronavirus.
They're going to be Gen Z, but we do have like this generation of folks that are going to be coming into the workforce in the next year. And like, man, are they just totally screwed? Like, what are you hearing from I don't know, they're probably Gen Z right now.
For sure. Yeah.
Like, what are you hearing even as like a dad?
Yeah, I have two Gen Z sons. Well, I have three Gen Z sons, but two that are coming into the workforce out of college this year. And the one is going to be a CPA, so he's kind of fine. It's like if you're a computer engineer right now, you're like, okay, the unemployment could be 32%, and they're still going to have jobs.
Yeah.
My other one is like marketing, right? Social media, advertising, all of this stuff. And he's like, this sucks. Like, there's no jobs, there's no one interviewing, and you're going to come out in this really kind of bad economy, and it might be the worst since probably like 2007, 2008, 2009 when college grads came out. So I think we're going to see a lot of the same behavior. They're going to have to make a decision. Do I go and try to find whatever job I can, or do I go back and get my master's? And we saw a lot of kids that did that, like that just instead of saying, hey, I can't go into the workforce, there's no job, so I'm just going to go and continue my education and get more educated or whatever from that standpoint. We'll see. I want to bring Cam on and have that conversation. Yeah. He's in the middle of it now. He's applying to jobs. He's actually going through some like interviews, and they're doing the whole video interviews or phone interviews, and it's multiple levels. But and I think a lot of those, some of the same behaviors are coming out from a lot of these HR and TA people that did in the Great Recession, which is they become a little power hungry. So they forget about, oh, I should still deliver this great, candidate experience. Instead, they're like, oh, I have 5,000 people applying to this job, and I can treat people any way I want. And so it'd be interesting to see. I hope it doesn't fall back into that, but we kind of know.
Oh my gosh. I sure hope we don't fall into that place. One of the things I heard happening, the dialogue that's starting to happen with some companies is like, will they be able to bring on their summer interns? What's their plan going to be? And if they do, and I'm hoping that, people are in the position to be able to do that, like, what if we're still in this lockdown situation? And are you going to have all these new hires or summer interns working remote? And how does that work? I mean,
yeah, they won't.
So fascinating. Like if you're Cam and you're going to take on an internship this summer and you're starting out like in a remote situation, like how on earth do you get like ingratiated into culture, learn workplace norms? Like all of that is just crazy to me.
Yeah, well, I think like you're going to have a blip, especially for those May 2020 grads coming out of university that potentially might have to do internships into the fall, winter. Like they're just going to like, hey, I was planning on doing the summer, or but now it's going to get pushed. Thankfully, he's had a couple of internships, so if things pick up, then he'll have enough to at least find a job and do some of that stuff. But yeah, again, we just don't know. It's like one of those things where I think that's the hardest part of all this planning is no one knows how long it's going to last. So you can do all the best plans, but you better be pretty fluid right now with how you lead, because it changes by the day.
Yeah, I like that fluidity with how you lead. Like there's just so much about like what this time is going to do to you in terms of how you need to think about your leadership style. Fluidity, like the ability to turn on a dime. Everyone is like digging into the CARES Act and understanding what that's going to mean. Like being able to figure out how to have some like stamina and grit through this, but like have coping mechanisms. Like as you were saying, like I hope everyone has a friend that they can dial up, or I guess they could just tweet at us if they need like an outlet. But like seriously, like figuring out how to lead in this time is like this thing that I'm just really thoughtful about. But like I'm thankful that like if you have people as outlets and as friends to turn to, like, man, that's necessary. But the other thing that's like a coping mechanism, like separate from just like, how do you cope as a leader? Like, I just need help with like coping in this current like climate with like, I'm cooped up at home. What am I supposed to be doing with my time? And like, I need some distractions. I actually was saying to my husband, like, I need to not have wine be my coping mechanism because I wake up in the morning and I'm like, my skin's so dry. I think I had too much red wine the prior night. But like, what are you doing for distractions just to get through this? Because like, man, this is tough.
I literally, like I was a gym person, right? I love going to the gym, and I would usually do it during lunch. So I wouldn't eat lunch, and I would go to the gym, get a good workout in, and come back to work and feel great. And so I had to download like a steps app for my phone, and now I'm walking like all the time, like way too much. Like I'm like somehow like that became like if you can't go to the gym, so now. But then I always feel like I'm not sweating enough. Like I got to go out there and really get a sweat on. But I'm not a runner. I'm not going to be a runner because it's just too hard on my body. But like I'm like walking like crazy. Yeah, I don't. I do. I see so many people like. So I think Trish McFarland on Facebook had put a meme up about, "Hey, introverts, you need to check on your extroverted friends."
Yes,
because they're having problems right now being cooped up by themselves. I'm in an office like by myself. I can't tell you how many times I just walk around like and like look at everything's empty, and I'm just like, what should I do? Where can I go?
That's where all your steps are coming from, walking around the office wondering, what am I supposed to do now? I have to admit, though, like I am watching more Netflix and streaming TV than I have in a while. And I'm telling you, the next series you have to get on with is this Tiger King series.
Tiger King, I've heard that.
I mean, it is some really wacky stuff. And like, you just need that distraction right now. And we can't talk about it until we've all watched it because
all right,
you just have to see it to believe it.
I'll get it done. I finished up. So we're Ozark. I mean, watching Ozarks. I'm finishing season 3. And then there's another HBO one, it's not Ray Bradbury, it's Ray whatever, one of like some cop, kind of show, whatever. Watching that. I'm trying to think of like the movie stuff too. Like, what's the last movie that I saw? Can you think of the last movie you saw in a theater?
I have young kids. I don't ever get out anywhere.
Frozen 2, 3, 4.
Oh, no, yes, that's right.
What Frozen are they on?
Yes,
Frozen 2?
I watched it twice in the theater. That's right. That's so pitiful. I cried both times too.
I actually took my niece to like one of those movies too right before I got locked down, but I can't even remember what it was because it wasn't one of the big ones. It was just some like, oh, it's PG or G or whatever. She can go see it, so I'll take her to that. And so we went and saw it. She liked it. It obviously was unremarkable for me. I don't remember it at all. But I'm always like, that's the one thing I miss. I'm a theater like person. I love going to like the movie theater and watching a movie. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't, it's not the same watching this stuff at home.
Man. So when this is over, you're going to go to the movies. I'm probably, you know what I really want to do? And this is uncharacteristic for me, but I know you're going to be on the same page as me. I just miss hugging people. Like I want to see people and give them a big hug. Like it just feels so bizarre to not be able to do that.
Jay, we were talking about The Truman Show. So if you haven't seen The Truman Show movie, you got to go see it. It's a classic. But every time he would come outside, like instantly there was all kinds of people doing their lawn and walking around and saying hi to him. And he would be like, because he would look out the door and or at the window and there would be nobody out there. And so then he would hurry outside and all of a sudden instantly there was always people. And now when I go outside, I feel like The Truman Show. I feel like there's people everywhere. And I know so many people like in my neighborhood, in my town that I live in, that when I'm walking, I'm always like, hey, like I would always give hugs to a lot of people.
I know.
And now they're walking in the street away from me. Like, don't get near Tim.
Do a wave like, what's up, Tim? Stay away. Oh, this time really sucks if I'm just to be really honest. But you know what? The reality is, and thank God we're all in this together. Like this is this bizarre land we're living in where it's this universal situation of we're all dealing with this same. And man, at least we have each other. So there's
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, as soon as I can, I'm going to be on a Delta flight to the Cayman, staying at a Marriott property. I got to get on a vacation, right? I have to get out.
Yes. Well, I need people to stay home for now so that we can get through this and then we can all travel again. And I'm telling you, as soon as we're able to, like, I can't wait for us to open up our hotel doors and welcome people in. Hugging is not normally our thing in terms of how we welcome people, but I don't know, things might change because we're just going to be so excited to.
As soon as we get that vaccine, right? We'll be like hugging everybody.
Yes, hugging the heck out of everyone, but we will get there. It is so good, Tim, just to hear your voice, the voice of another sane person, a sage leader to like help me get through this day to day. I miss Kris. I think we'll get Kris back next week, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll bring him off. We'll bring him off work restrictions.
Work restrictions. I mean, I don't know. I mean, even if he's not here, we could maybe get Dawn Burke in the mix because she's a good fill-in for sure. Dawn, it was great having you here. But guys, that's all we've got. It was a check-in. Just know that we are here for you. You are not alone. Some basic things to think about, like we need each other, and so we are here for each other. Have an outlet. Don't kill your husband for the way he eats grapefruit. Get some social distancing in your own home, which is a good lesson I'm taking from the Sackett household. And please, for the love of God, get onto that Netflix and get those outlets in. And I can't wait to hear what everyone thinks about Tiger King. That's some amazing stuff.
Hey, that's HR Famous. She's Jessica Lee. I am Tim Sackett, and we are out.